We are very late, but this is going to be great. Guys, Chris will be on the stream any minute now. But, guys, what I want to say is Francisco, my guy, has come up with some absolute gems today. Chris, welcome to the stream. How are we getting on, brother?
I'm sorry I'm late, bro. Barely made it. I just walked in the door. I haven't showered. I have not had dinner. It's been a very long day, but it's been a great day. Been a great day. A little down, in the markets today. RKLB is down what 3.5%. Currently sitting around 26.45, somewhere around that area. Look, we're down 6% over the last week. And I've seen some people thinking, hey, look, maybe we've hit a top, or of course, obviously, probably newer investors, but just remember, guys, over the last 12 months, we're up 461% just in the last 12 months. We've come a long way. So get a little dip in the market here or there. I look at it as a buying opportunity, especially if you're as convicted as I am. And we also, Archer, man, I've been really getting into Archer. I've been watching the videos. Reese just put out a really good video a few days ago. As a matter of fact, I can't remember exactly what Francisco was talking about earlier today in the chats. Again, I was trying to work. It was super freaking hot. I'm trying to keep up with you guys. Today was just was not my day. But Archer did drop down about 3.5, 3.6%. But another one that was interesting, and we don't have to go over any of this, but I just things that popped out today. As you guys know, Chris never does the numbers, but hey, man, I actually do my numbers. I just don't like to talk about them on a lot of live streams. Um, but one thing I did notice was Kratos up 20% just in the last month. Just in the last month. So again, I haven't had a lot of time to dive into stuff. Missed a lot of comments. I do have some crazy stuff, we can dive into later if we get that far. But overall, man, great day, great work day. Happy to see everyone. Thanks for being patient with us, guys, mostly with me. But again, welcome again, man. Another live, Haste Club, RKLB Daily. This has been a lot of fun.
Yeah, trust me, Chris. This is your 16th day running in this Haste Club RKLB Daily live, guys. Chris made a big announcement yesterday. I know we didn't have the biggest stream yesterday. We're already bigger at the moment, but Chris made an announcement yesterday. Initially, this was a 30-day project. He did drop the bombshell on me. This is now a forever project. I was actually speaking to Reese earlier. It was literally about, 20 minutes before this stream. We have some big plans that I want to bring to Chris about the Haste Club that's going to elevate it even more. We're going to continue with the dailies, as Chris says, but Reese has a very nice plan on the sideline that will benefit all retail investors. Chris, I know you're gonna jump at this idea. It's good, but yeah. Before we bring it to the crowd, I'll let Reese share his idea with you tomorrow. But look, up until I'd say 30 seconds before this stream started, I'm still getting information from Francisco Ramirez. There's been some massive news that's been found. It shows that the Haste Club is not just about conspiracies, just about us speaking wild thoughts. We're going to bring some massive receipts today. We have talked about data centers. We've talked about space-based solar, but we're going to get into all that. There's a lot of receipts today, and you can see the angle we're going. Chris, is there anywhere you want to start, or am I just going to dive straight in with this absolute juicy stuff?
Actually, there was one other thing I saw. I'm just going to mention Korea. We might get that far, but again, guys, we do go off on some crazy.
That, what I'm saying.
Yeah. So, yeah, I like to joke around, and say, hey, we got these crazy conspiracy theories. But again, we do our research, man. We don't come up with these ideas just off of a guess and a hope and a whim. As a matter of fact, I sent something to Francisco yesterday, and he was like, "No way, I never heard of this. That's crazy. Where'd you get the info?" And before I was like, "Hey, let's not say anything just yet. Let's make sure it's real." And we start diving into it, and we can't find any factual information on it. So I totally backed off of it. Now we did find some other information out because we went down that rabbit hole, and that happens a lot. Sometimes you'll get something that piques your interest, and you jump down a rabbit hole chasing after that, and you find two or three other things that you may have missed. But having the community that we have, and having people like a Francisco or a Brett or a Jacob that we can bounce ideas off of, they understand where I'm coming from. They understand that, hey, Chris is really trying to get deeper and learn more about the company and freely just give this information out. But I'm not just going to just jump on X and go, hey, guess what I found out today, without actually doing some research. Yeah, we have fun here on the Haste Club for sure, but I can guarantee that 95+% of it has already been very much researched and has at least a small fraction of proof to go behind it. Now, we can't prove everything day by day, but as each day goes on, a lot of times these crazy ideas, they start coming to fruition. And again, it's not investing advice. It's just, if you're really getting into your stock, then we're just trying to encourage you to do the same kind of research, because you learn more about the company, you get stronger in your conviction, and when you do have a dip like we've had in the last day or the last week, you're not getting scared. You're actually doubling down. You're actually buying more and adding to your total position, which is going to make you more money in the long run if it is a good, viable company. And I do believe Rocket Lab is one of them. Saying all that, yeah, go ahead, Liam. Just jump right into it, man. I can't wait to hear this.
Well, do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to let it hold out a little bit longer. I'm just going to address the comments first of all. So we have Francisco. What's up, guys? And guys, I can tell you, my phone's still vibrating. Francisco is still on the ball, getting information to us as the stream's going. Johnny Mac, great to see you, brother. Can't wait to actually have you on one of these on YouTube.
Let's get Johnny on the guest list if he wants to come on. He opened up when you were sick. He actually jumped on a few of the lives and did very well. And actually messaged me, he's like, "Hey, man, I get it. It's not so easy, but once you do it once or twice, you start feeling comfortable, and it's a lot of fun. And again, we're not here to take receipts. We're not here to judge you or call you out. We're never going to go on X and go, hey, this person said this 6 months ago. Look at, he's a big idiot. No, we're never going to do that. We're going to encourage you guys to think outside the box and bring us all of your crazy ideas, because combined as a community, that's how, yeah, exactly. We learn a lot more that way. So thanks, Johnny. As always, Francisco, you guys are amazing.
Mike, big shout out, brother. Mike's been supporting me from, I'd say, since I've had 10 subscribers. Mike can verify that I have been in Rocket Lab for what? It must be going on 3 years at this stage. It's at least 2.5. But yeah,
Have
Mike's
you really?
one of our big time followers.
I didn't realize that. I thought you were. Honestly, no offense, I thought you and Reese both were. I'm sure we've talked about this in the past. I thought you guys have jumped in the last 8 to 12 months. So that's awesome.
Oh,
I didn't realize.
No.
Okay, that's awesome. No, I'm not judging. We don't do that here. Just we all made our mistakes with Virgin Galactic. So if you'd have held that a bit further, and waited a little bit longer to jump in, I totally would have understood. No, just that's a cool bit of info, man. You learn something new every day.
No, I think that's one of the biggest misconceptions about us and the Hustle Brothers. Our biggest position has always been Rocket Lab. Like, if you see any of our very early content, it's all about Rocket Lab. Look, it's nothing like what we do now today. Like, I get a bit embarrassed when I look back at some of my old videos, but sometimes it's funny to look back on. But we more or less, we got passionate about eVTOLs and then just started diving down that rabbit hole, a bit like what we're doing here in the Haste Club, where we just started doing it every single day. And then sort of Rocket Lab went on the back burner a little bit, but the position was always there, always still followed.
Very
Everything
cool.
going on,
Very
but I
cool.
just never
Yeah,
made.
yeah. Sorry, yeah, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to jump in there. Go back to the comments, man. These guys have been kicking butt all day. There's a lot of stuff. You don't think that you can get, a lot of information daily, but with a company like Rocket Lab and a sector as large as space, there's always news coming out, almost by the hour. So yeah, jump back in the comments. This is what makes Haste Club. The people in the comments is why we've done Haste Club. So thank everyone.
Then we got Midwest Cannabis top. Like, this guy's always trying to pump our likes. Midwest Cannabis, thank you so much, brother. And yeah, if you haven't, make sure to smash the like on both YouTube and X. More likes we get, the further it gets pushed out. Johnny Mac, Chris is getting a Haste Club tattoo on his forearm. We're going to ensure that happens, guys. Maybe it can happen around the Neutron launch party. That'd be quite cool, not? Jules,
yeah, that's funny,
hi,
Johnny.
guys.
That's funny, Johnny. That's real funny, buddy. Yes. Hi, Jules. Keep going. I'm sorry. That's funny, Johnny. We'll talk more, buddy.
Jules, great to have you back. Olga, one of our biggest fans. Love to see you in the comments. Lol, go Chris with the Haste tattoo. Great idea. Look, everyone wants that Haste tattoo, brother. Brett Craig, another guy we need on the guest list. His content is absolutely amazing, and yeah, Brett, doors always open. Would love to have you here on the Haste Club Live. Johnny Mac, love it. Would love you guys soon. Johnny, doors always open, my guy. You can always call in whenever you want. You never need an invite, but yeah, honestly, DM us and we'll get you on ASAP. Francisco, oh boy, I would make a bet Chris would go crazy today. Do you know what? With what Francisco's after giving me in the last 5 minutes, you are going to go wild, Chris. I know it. Okay, I'm going to let it in softly. Yeah. And I think you touched on this a little bit, Chris. So, Korea Aerospace Administration pursue a space data center establishment. Now, before we get any further into this, can anyone tell me why is it important? Why am I bringing up Korea Aerospace Administration? Chris, do you know?
I'm not. I'm not even gonna say. Look, these guys already think I'm crazy anyway. They already think I'm crazy enough anyway. I don't dare.
No,
Screw
you're
you,
gonna get
Francisco.
wild.
I love you, bro, but screw you at the same time. This is gonna be crazy. This is a lot of fun. This is exactly why we've done this. And I do want to jump right back onto it, but just like we just invited Johnny on, look, anybody in the comments, anybody involved in what we're doing daily, our special guest or all of us. Our next guest coming up is going to be Space Ghost. We all love Space Ghost, right? We want to get you guys all on. So don't feel like, you have to have a billion followers and be this big, person or whatever. We don't, no, that's not important. What's important is getting closer and talking to you guys and getting some info because we all have our own individual strengths and we all bring, every single one of you guys brings something to the table. I learn something from you guys all the time, daily sometimes. So whether it's Johnny Mac or it's a Space Ghost, we've had Francisco on. I know we're dragging him back on again. Brett is very busy, but if we can get him on for 20, 30 minutes, it'd be a lot of fun. Jacob, as you guys already seen, but we had Olga. Olga actually came on, which is awesome. So any of you that want to get in, want to join us in the live one day, don't hesitate. Just hit up me or Liam. We'll be happy to have you on. But yeah, I'm not going to say anything about the Korea thing just yet. I'm going to let you guys talk for a few minutes before I start getting crazy.
So, Korea Aerospace Administration pursues the space data center establishment. We were talking about data centers there about a week ago. I actually reckon we could do a week-long stream about RKLB and data centers, but it's going to get very spicy, guys, trust me. Korean government is promoting the establishment of data centers in outer space to maximize efficiency. I'm not going to go and pronounce Korean names because I will just mess it up. I can barely speak my own language. Head
Irish.
of, head of the satellite mission design program at the Korea Aerospace Administration said on June 12th, we plan to conduct concept research to analyze the necessity of establishing a space data center and derive the required performance. Now, guys, we said the benefits around having databases basically shipped off to space. We said about the energy efficiency, and like your solar panels, it's about 10 times the efficiency up there. We said about the amount of heat one of these centers do generate, the pollution that it generates, the amount of fossil fuels that it burns down here on Earth. Look, they are not the most efficient project to have once you're down here on the ground. But we do know one company that can provide all this. We do know one company that can build all this. We then have IonQ, who has taken over Capella Space. Look, you know what? It's, pardon the pun, but the stars are aligning, aren't they?
Everybody owes me a beer. Everybody owes me a beer.
They owe you a beer in the next thing I'm about to bring up, though. Kim disclosed the plan at the Space Agency R&D strategy briefing held at the startup campus in, I'm going to try it, Pangyo Techno Valley. Come here. It's going to get wild if I start pronouncing.
You did good with that. That was great.
Fluent.
I couldn't do any better. I couldn't do any better. I forget my daughter's name sometimes, so you're doing a great job.
So, a space data center is a data center that operates in orbit around the Earth, similar to the artificial satellites. It has the advantage of solving heat generation problems and saving power need for cooling due to extremely cold environment of space. Do you know what, Chris? And guys, you can see that came out on June 12th. So it came out, well, to me now it's yesterday, but to most of you it's still today. Look, this is exactly what we were talking about. The benefits. I'm not going to read off the whole thing. Guys, what I'll do, I'll share it on X, because I am sure you haven't came here to hear an Irishman poorly read a big paragraph. But Chris,
I did. We can play a drinking party and see how many words you can correctly pronounce, and then see how wasted we get in the next 15 minutes. That'd be hilarious. Let's just do that. I'm teasing, man. I'm teasing. I'm sorry.
So,
that's fun.
Has anyone jumped in and said why it's important to talk about Korea Aerospace Administration and why talking about these data centers, or this data center project by CASA is any way related to RKLB? Francisco, send me the link, Liam. So, guys, I'm going to give you 2 minutes to come up with why this is important. So I've read most of them. Mike Anthony, great to have you here. Bought ACI, which always beats earnings, and all upgrades higher to $22 to $26. June, great to have you back. You're always here. June, we're going to get you on. I know it. Eventually, I'll get you on here. Dragos, Midwest, I see you. June, Dragos, great to have you here, brother.
Welcome, Dragos. Welcome, June. As always, thank you so much for constantly being a supporter. Yeah, we got to get her on sometime. It'd be great.
Sound been mostly runs over $10 with the highs since last week, 10.51. June, hey Dragos, Midwest. Why are these random stocks, brother? Francisco, I came out today.
Oh, I love that guy so much. Oh my God, I love Francisco so much.
June,
Francisco
yes,
owes me like. Go
Go
ahead.
on.
I'm sorry. I was just going to say Francisco owes me a lot of beer, so I think that's why he's giving me all this information lately, so it kind of evens out. Just getting into like probably a couple $100 by now. I'm just teasing, man. That guy's great. Uh, what is June saying here? I can't see the comments, so again, I'm
No, you're
sorry,
all good.
guys. You just take over, Liam.
Yeah, so June says, yes, data centers in space. This is a definite future possibility. It's about to get more than a future possibility. Francisco sent me the link. Johnny Mac doesn't. Johnny knows. Of course, Johnny knows. Johnny definitely knows. He's probably talking. He's probably a bot talking random stocks. I'm starting to think that, Johnny, to be fair.
Yeah, yeah.
Right, guys.
I got a funny story really quick about Johnny.
Yeah, go on.
This is great, honestly. It was a few months ago, and we were talking. We were just getting really deep into some Haste info, and all of a sudden he said, "Hey, man, your new nickname is Mater," and I was like, "Mater? You mean like off the Cars movie?"
Sometimes.
And he started laughing. I was like, "Do I really sound like an idiot?" He was like, "Yeah, you sound like an idiot. You got the southern accent. You talk kind of funny." And I was like, "Screw you, Johnny," you know. But he said, "No, man, think about it." He said, "By the end of the movie, you realize that Mater, he's just having fun, but in all reality, he's one of the smartest characters." So yeah, that was actually quite entertaining. Thanks, Johnny. If you want to call me Mater from now on, only Johnny can call me that. But I take it for what it is. Again, guys, we take things as serious as investing is. You got to have fun with it, and having you guys in the chats, making friends with you guys online, it's been a wonderful experience. So we want to continue this, every single day. Thanks again for joining in. But yeah, I guess to Johnny Mac, my name is Mater.
I've got a cracker, guys. Yeah. If we get 5 comments, stay in. Francisco. Well, not Francisco. Christopher, get the tattoo. Christopher has to get a tattoo of Mater on his forearm with the Haste Club on the side of him. I actually think that'd be a cracker.
You guys are
But
killing
anyway,
me, man. You guys are killing me. That's not funny either because my 16-year-old daughter just told me that they're so my daughters are going over to visit my son over in Germany
yep.
in about 2 weeks. And at 18, well, actually at 16, you can drink in Europe. At 18, you can do whatever you want to do, obviously. And she was trying to convince me to sign off on some paperwork so she can get a tattoo while she's over in Germany. And I don't have any tattoos right now. I'm not against them. My son has tattoos. I actually worked in a tattoo parlor. In a former life, I used to actually I would actually do art shows
Okay.
monthly. I actually had an art deal out in New York. I've been to Europe. I've shown my art all up and down the East Coast. I had art deals in Europe. So I'm not against tattooing. I do see the art of it. I'm not sure that's the first tattoo I want to get, but I mean, if I get enough, it's kind of fun to think about the fact that I'm going to get pressured to get a tattoo from all you guys. That's hilarious. But if that happens, I'm drawing it myself. I don't trust the other artists out there. No offense, but um, maybe not off the table. Well, I still haven't jumped in the river yet. That was one of the first dares I've had. So let's
Ooh.
one bridge at a time, guys. Just one bridge at a time, and maybe we'll get to the tattoo at a later date. But yeah. Sorry, I'm gonna go off on a lot of tangents. I just got home, man. All this a lot of this is new to me, and no, I'm not allowed to comment just yet on INQ in Korea, and but yeah, I'm sorry. I'm gonna keep on doing this, but keep on pushing forward, Liam. Thanks, guys.
Right. So, Korea Aerospace Administration have worked with RKLB in the past, which as we said, Peter Beck is a shrewd operator. He gets deals over the line. Oh, another one I want to bring to you again as well later on will be about Global Star, but that may be a little bit too long for this stream. So that might have to push into tomorrow. However, Korea Aerospace Administration have worked with RKLB in the past to expand Korea's space infrastructure. Why wouldn't they work with RKLB to create their data centers? When we read this article, they're planning for the 6th launch by 2027, if I'm not mistaken yet, 2027. Chris, I am about to send shockwaves through you with what Francisco sent me. So we're going to get straight onto it. Digital domination, Virginia's place in the race for data center future. You can see where this is going. Virginia's digital economy stands at a pivotal moment while local communities across the Commonwealth weigh the impact of rapidly expanding data centers, debating land use, electricity demand, and environmental stress. A higher stakes story is quietly emerging overhead space-based data infrastructure. Chris, where do you think we're going with this?
Can you still hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you there.
Okay, so we've been touching on this for days, if not weeks now. Everyone from you and I, Francisco, Jacob, and here's the interesting thing: is Francisco and I have been looking into this literally months and months ago, because we're not now. Now we've gone beyond the possible partnerships and correlations with other countries as far as the Haste program. So, and we've done over a year plus of research on that. Now we're getting more into what's the next step. What are they going to go into beyond that? We touched on the fact that INQ is building right next to Rocket Lab in Middle River, Maryland. As far as the space complex they have there, there's a few other things going in very close to there as well. I'm pretty sure I saw some posts from Francisco about that. You know, when I tell people, look, when you look at Rocket Lab, all you're seeing is a tip of the iceberg. You're not seeing everything below the water, and it's massive. It is massive. You know, someone like Peter Beck is a visionary. He's not thinking, 4 or 5 Haste launches a year. He's not thinking 1 or 2 Neutron launches a year. He's not thinking we're going to get all of our revenue from launches. He's way beyond that, way beyond that. It's very exciting because we've already delved into a lot of what would be required, what's needed, and the advantages of having that ability to process quantum computing in space. This is not at all surprising to me. It's not. As great as this news is, this makes all the sense in the world. It is lining up perfectly with everything that we've been looking into for the last, 6 to 8 weeks, maybe. So love the news. It's something we've been hoping for and expecting. And again, as big as this is just the beginning. Yeah, go ahead.
So, as the world's leading hub for data traffic, Virginia is uniquely positioned to evolve from data center alley to the launch pad for orbital cloud computing. This opportunity isn't just technical, it's economic, strategic, and deeply rooted in the Commonwealth's geography, workforce, and legacy of innovation. So, we have grounded growth and rising friction. Northern Virginia currently handles over 70% of the world's internet traffic, anchored by massive data center campuses from Amazon Web Services, Microsoft, Meta, and Google. These investments have driven explosive growth, generating thousands of jobs and billions in tax revenue, but they've sparked growing resistance. Guys, we can see where this is going. A bold idea takes flight. Enter orbital data centers. The vacuum of space offers natural cooling, and the sun provides virtually limitless power. Again, what we have been talking about. What I'm going to do, this comment has been thrown up a few times, so I'm just going to mute him from the comments. There we go. Freedom Zone now and NIMBY resistance. Now, guys, if anyone knows what NIMBY is, please let me know. These off-planet facilities offer a vision of cleaner, more scalable data processing. Companies like IBM, StarCloud, and Relativity Space are already investing in the future, according to MIT Technology Review. Defense contractor Kratos is exploring how in-orbit processing can reduce latency for satellite communications and real-time analytics, key for weather forecasting, national security, and commercial data services. Firms like Axiom Space and Lone Star Data Plan orbital nodes capable of handling secure government and international data workloads. Chris, Kratos, where have we heard from them before?
Well, they're paying Rocket Lab a decent amount of money to do a few launches for them coming up soon. Look, Kratos is a lot bigger than I initially thought of. Again, as people in the community that introduced me to them, they're doing really cool things, and it's not just in space, but they're also doing stuff like I guess you would call them submarines in a way. But they're not just looking into space; they're looking at every aspect. And what did we say earlier? Kratos up 20% in the last month, and it's for a good reason. They're silently, quietly getting government contracts that, as I say all the time, it's easy to overlook the small things. Where a $5 or $10 million contract, it's a lot of money. I mean, somebody gave me $5 or $10 million tomorrow, I wouldn't be live streaming tomorrow. I'd be trying to find where Lily Funds is at in the Bahamas and hanging out with that guy. Screw you, you know what I'm saying? I'd be done. But it is a small contract when it comes to space. And they're picking up these contracts, and interestingly enough, they're bringing Rocket Lab in to partner with them on a lot of these contracts. So Kratos is definitely something to keep an eye on, and what they're going to do. And again, it doesn't do Rocket Lab. It could be a lot of other companies. But as we're seeing with Rocket Lab, whether it's a Kratos or it's a Capella that's linked now with IonQ, they have their fingers out there in a lot of different, little pools, and they have been very brilliant in the fact that they've partnered with a lot of different people in a lot of different countries. I mean, the recent launch for Electron was for Japan. I've said before that I believe that we're going to be seeing a lot more out of Japan, including probably a Haste program, also with Korea, probably Taiwan. I've said this many times before. Seeing this come up now just strengthens their commitment, strengthens their partnership, and gives them, opens up a lot more new opportunities. Not surprising, but it's exciting. I mean, no doubt. I mean, you want to see that. I'm looking forward to finding out more. I'm getting some pings myself. I'm sure I'm getting some messages from Francisco.
Francisco's about to join us.
I can't look at anything, and I can't see the comments either, guys. So I am sorry. Look, if you guys in the comments, trust me, I love you. I really do. It's nothing personal. It's on my phone, so I can't read them out loud. And if we miss a comment, don't feel like you can't re-comment so that you get seen and heard. We want everyone to be seen. We want everyone to be heard. We really do, because it's without the community, we're nothing. We don't get this information. During my downtime, sure, I can research stocks and I can deep dive on stuff, but I can't do it day in and day out, because I have a regular job. Where some of you guys are retired, you have more time to do it, and we really appreciate all that. So, our goal is to bring it out in the open. So, yeah, please, continue with the comments. Holy crap! Is that Francisco Ramirez?
What's up, man?
That's a wonderful surprise. You just made my day, brother. You just made my day.
Oh no, I haven't yet.
I thought
Oh,
you were messing
that's
about when you were
crazy.
saying send link. I thought you were on about send link for the link you sent me, and I was like, what?
Well, yeah, because he's like,
Brother, how are
join
you
us.
getting
Oh,
on?
yeah.
You've
Great, man.
made my day mad.
I think I did. I did that to everybody today. I didn't send it to Chris. I'm like, we got to drive him crazy, man. Let's just wait for him.
He gave me a break. Hey, well, he knew I was working a lot this week, so he's been very generous, not blowing my phone up. But I guess you're getting, you're getting the opposite end of that. And if Francisco just told me that I still don't know much yet, then I'm almost nervous.
Yeah.
I'm almost
Oh, yeah,
nervous
yeah,
because,
Oh yeah.
oh yeah, okay, I'm gonna be really quiet now. Man, bro, again, thanks for coming on.
But like you
Uh,
said, man, we've been talking about this for months. Remember, I came up with that idea, reading about everything that's being done, and
It's
I
your
even sent you.
diagram.
I did
It's
a,
your
a
diagram that
yeah,
got
drawing. I'm like,
yeah,
bro, let's do. We gotta do
exactly.
this. Like, this is gonna be crazy if they do it. And now, like, everybody's talking about it. It's kind of crazy. It is kind of crazy.
And
so
you're bringing receipts. Like you literally have receipts where you can like, look, I showed you this months ago. That's awesome. And again, guys, we do our research. We don't just make crap up. It does sound crazy when we talk about it, but there's a reason why we talk about it. That's awesome. Francisco's
No,
bringing receipts on paper. That's awesome. I love it.
but was it last week too? Like, we didn't. You guys shared that one that I sent you. They're thinking about doing the same thing, but around the moon. Remember that? And like with the solar,
yeah.
with the solar. What was it? The farms to provide energy to the moon. I mean, it's just crazy stuff. We're trying to
And
figure
we
out
talked
what
about that.
we already know. Haste is already is happening, so we're trying to find out what's next, and that's the whole thing about this.
It'll be data center club.
Yeah, data center club. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, but keep going, man. I want to see. Yeah, Chris is gonna go crazy, man.
Chris have all these
It's-
tattoos all over him.
I'm gonna get a whole sleeve of just different Rocket Lab clubs all up my arm.
I
So
got my Air Force Cup.
moving
I
on,
need I need
there
one
are
of those.
hurdles.
I need one of those.
Moving on, there are hurdles. Launch costs remain high, and space debris is a growing concern. But as reusable rockets, lower costs, and on-orbit networks mature, the long-term advantages are becoming clearer. And guys, we have Neutron coming online, which is a reusable rocket. We know it's going to be cost efficient, and look, they're going to be the catalyst for many constellations maturing over time. But let's drive Chris wild.
Yeah, let's
Why
do that. That's
Virginia
fun.
matters. So why does Virginia matter? The Commonwealth has more than just a head start. Its strategic assets, Amazon's 100 billion investment in cloud infrastructure has deepened its Virginia footprint, while its Project Kuiper initiative will launch over 3,200 low Earth orbit satellites aimed at global broadband. Guys, my head's actually gone wild in the middle of this stream because maybe the reaction wheels are for Kuiper, but we'll be supplying the data centers.
If so, then Francisco will be right once again. And this is, hey, I'll tell you this one thing, guys. Out of all the things that me and Francisco agree on, that's the one thing you can say, not that we butt heads, but that's the one thing we've disagreed on is that he's always said from day one, those reaction wheels are going to be for Amazon. And I was thinking, it's going to be for space defense. And we've gone back and forth and we've brought, our ideas and our proof together. But, when you lose, and you got to be man enough about it and realize, what, Francisco probably knows a bit more than than I know. That's interesting. Very interesting. And I did know about that. Amazon is expanding more in Virginia. There's a lot of reasons. There's a lot of advantages, and we are a large military state, so it's not out of the realm to believe that hey, this could be for a defense kind of contract. But you look at the numbers, which I avoid sometimes, sometimes out of fault. But you look at the numbers and what Amazon's doing, what they're bringing in here. It opens up a lot of possibilities. I'm going to shut up now because I'm sure I don't know half of what I'm talking about.
No, what I was just thinking there, like people are gonna say I'm the biggest flip flop, and this is exactly why we are different on Haste Club, because my opinions can change day in, day out. But then it's making me think that look, we know that RKLB wouldn't have had the money to take on someone like Starlink to do the exact same thing. But if you want to take on the likes of Starlink in a project like that, who is the best partner to go in with? It would be Amazon. And if you help Kuiper proliferate, and then your actual ideal business model was to have these data centers, you'll actually end up being probably as profitable, if not more profitable, than the actual Kuiper project itself, because you're actually supplying the data centers. But the merging Kuiper satellites reach with Amazon
Brilliant.
Web Services or
Brilliant.
AWS terrestrial compute power to form a seamless planet-scale cloud network offering Amazon Plus and cloud computing around the planet. Look, we're not going to go mad about Amazon. The future may well lift off from Wallops Island. Wallops is a coastal gateway to the cosmos.
It's just for you, Chris.
Virginia Spaceport at Wallops Island already supports launches by Northrop Grumman and RKLB, with RKLB's new Neutron rocket promising fully reusable lift capacity. The site's proximity to the East Coast market's skilled labor pool and the expanding aerospace sector makes it a prime candidate for launching the next generation of digital infrastructure for firms like Amazon, Axiom, and Lone Star. Virginia offers a rare combination of physical space, policy flexibility, robust infrastructure, and orbital access. The mix could attract billions in investment and position the state as a key player in the global tech economy. Guys.
Bro, Dylan, we on one of our last live streams we had with Dylan on, he actually brought this up. And I want to apologize to Dylan right now because he made a really good point. It was kind of in fleeting, during the conversation, and we didn't really pick up on a lot of what he was saying. But going back to land acquisition and growing the space and the availability and the advantages that Virginia actually offers. So again, bro, Dylan, I apologize. I should have looked more into that because you were right, dude. Look exactly the direction it's going in. And it lines up a lot with what you were saying. Not that I didn't believe him before. It was just you were alive, and we talk about a lot of crazy stuff. But I did want to give a shout out to Dylan for bringing that up before. Look, I don't get all my information from myself. I get it from a lot of you guys, like Francisco, Dylan, Johnny. Thanks again. So whenever I do get information, I'm always going to give credit every single time. So again, thanks, Dylan. And Liam, just keep on going, buddy.
So I want to jump back to the comments.
I was going to tell in that paragraph, I think they left out like RKLB, because RKLB has satellites too. They could be part of it. Yeah, they want to put infrastructure like in space. Why not? That's what they want to do. The whole thing is doing SaaS, like space as a
freaking
service.
Brilliant.
Data centers is space as a service.
And
that makes so much sense. I mean, Beck is so far ahead. That is brilliant. I'm sorry, that's just freaking brilliant.
But that is like a key aspect. You then are supplying the service in space, which is really not Beck's end goal. Well, kind of his end goal. I don't believe it'll only stop there. I believe he has more than one project in his mind. I always think Beck thinks 2, 3, 4 steps ahead than what we're doing. Francisco's 2 or 3 steps ahead as it is. He should be on the board around there. Guys, if you haven't followed Francisco Space on X, make sure you do so. But with Midwest Cannabis saying, Draggy, I see you too at work trying to catch up. June is here. Johnny Mack says, minority acquisitions.
June is here. Hey, Francisco, you are messaging me right now. Fucking love it. But if I try and check his messages,
no, don't worry about it. It's like,
okay, awesome. I didn't want you to think I was ignoring it. I can't pull it up, or I'll just knock myself off. But I would definitely check it out as soon as we're done here. But hey, thanks as always. Yeah, this is great. This is insane, man. So
No, it's
I
just like
wasn't sure.
Johnny was actually making a good point. Remember back in January, we was talking, the three of us, and he even sent us the link of Kratos talking about this, and he just sent it to the group,
Oh,
the
he
Rock
did.
Lab group.
He
He did.
did.
Remember,
Oh
we
my
was talking
God.
about it, and
Yeah.
we had talked about the whole thing. And that's what I kept saying. The Rock Lab and Kratos, they're probably working on more things than just uh, Haste. And I think they're doing something else. Why not? I mean, I already know that Palantir is working with Elon and them. Like, why not partner with like Kratos? Like, I mean, I always had that. That's what one of the reasons I got into it last summer. Remember, I told you and Johnny, I'm like, bro, I think Kratos and Rock Lab, they're gonna be doing more than Haze in the future, and that's how I got into the stuff.
Yeah, you were actually getting mad because you're like, man, I told you guys last week we should have bought, and look where it's at now. And I'm like, you're right. I'm sorry. We should have bought. You're right. I'm sorry. We didn't listen. Uh, no, man. I've been very impressed, and the fact that they're working together with Rocket Lab. Kratos by itself is a great company. I've been
Yeah, yeah,
very
yeah.
impressed with everything I've seen with them. And now that
Great
we know
CEO
that,
too.
yeah, man, yeah, that's again, with brilliance Beck. I mean, Beck is brilliant about how he works with other companies and he partners with other people, and whether they decide, hey, we're going to acquire them because it's better for the business and just take it over like a Mineric, or they're like, hey, we're just going to partner with them and work together with them like a Kratos.
And I want to jump in
That's
there
smart.
and say Johnny has made a really good point where Mineric
Yeah,
acquisition does make sense now for data in space, as they
100%.
specifically designed for transmissional of data from point to point. And from my understanding, the likes of energy, I don't know if data transmitted the same way, but they can either be converted either to microwaves or lasers. And yes, Mineric is going to hit it with the lasers. Kratos has mentioned in podcasts they are working closely with a fully integrated space companies for data relay constellations. I wonder who that could be. Back in January, he did make the post.
Yeah, he did.
Sent it to Francisco and Chris.
Yeah, he did. He did. He was on. Man, Johnny was on top of this. I'll say one thing about Johnny is that Johnny's the kind of person he'll stay really quiet. He might not say a lot, but when he does, man, that guy brings pure fire. I mean, he brings bangers, and it's the kind of stuff that he might bring it at 10 o'clock at night. And Francisco and I are both about to go to bed, and we're both awake for the next 4 hours, and we're chatting back and forth, diving deep into it. It's a lot of fun, man. It's a lot of fun. But yeah, 100% right. Johnny was on top of this bad boy.
So then we'll speak about how this is going to work. Terrestrial orbital equation.
Oh man, we got really bad news, man. Looks like Israel and Iran thing is going down. The market is crashing, bro.
It's gone wild, does it?
But Rocket Lab luckily doesn't trade after hours. But everything
Rocket Labs.
else is like red. Everything look is taking a nosedive, man.
Good. I get paid tomorrow. I can buy.
Yeah, we are dropping.
Yeah.
Guys, before we keep going, actually, make sure you have banged that subscribe button. You followed all three of us guys, because it feels like today is the day we've got our new key. We have tried all the locks, and we finally feel like we're actually getting somewhere. It's great to have days like today where it feels like, look, all the effort that the whole community has put out is coming to fruition. You've seen there, Johnny Mac's been talking about it since January. Francisco has been on point as usual. Then we have Chris, our on-screen genius that we bring on, and then you have me, the average retail investor, sitting in here for the ride. Guys,
you know what's been great? You know what's been awesome about this whole thing, and I did not expect this, and this has been the most rewarding thing I could have never hoped for. But I'm now getting messages, maybe one, maybe sometimes three a day, and it's from people we all know in the community. We all know these names, and they're messaging me, and they're going, "I've learned more in the last 2 or 3 hours about Rocket Lab, but I didn't realize I was learning. I was just having a lot of fun, and it's exactly what I want to hear. That's exactly what we want. There's a lot of YouTubers out there that do a great job. I say it all the time. They do a great job with the numbers. We can give you the numbers here. We've got the people. They'll come on at any time. They're very supportive. If not, we can give you their links and they'll help you out. Everybody in this community is amazing. But that's been the biggest reward to me, is realizing, you know what, it's working. Me coming on here and acting like an idiot sometimes is actually helping people helping people out, because they are learning stuff, and it's not being just shoved down their throats and they're like, hey, buy this, buy that. We're encouraging people to do their own research. We're encouraging people to find their why, of why they're investing in the first place. And I think it's been very engaging, and it's also helped out the community to grow, because now these people are starting to do their own research and they're going, hey, Chris, did you see this? Hey, did you check out this today? And it's stuff that they probably would have never done. And so now we have more people diving down these rabbit holes, and we have more people thinking outside the box. So now we're going to get more of these crazy ideas coming in, and we have the people in place to do the research, do the numbers, break it all down, and find out, what's real and what's not. This Korea news, we did see it coming, and it wasn't just for me. It was for me going, hey, I think that Haste can be in like 6 or 7 different Pacific, regions in the next 5 years. And then Francisco and Johnny, they ran with that. They did the research and going, well, maybe that's not going to happen, but hey, check out what this company is doing. Check out what Kratos is doing. Check out what Hypersonics is doing, which, by the way, we do have a Hypersonics launch coming up with Rocket Lab in the next month or two. It's not been determined, but that's going to be very exciting, because Australia was one of the very first countries outside the U.S. that partnered with Rocket Lab. Just something else to just dive a bit deeper into. I know there's a lot more to just that, as we saw New Zealand now getting into their own space kind of, NASA kind of facility. They're working with Rocket Lab with that. Seeing this come out of Korea again is just not. It's exciting, but it's not unexpected, if it makes sense.
It's one of those things. I feel like I wake up every day and I don't know what part of the business excites me the most. Like talking to you about Haste for a while was absolutely amazing. That was like one of my favorite parts. Then we're talking about the likes of these data centers. I'm getting mad obsessed up. Then we have the likes of Neutron. We have the likes of any of our space systems. Like, it's mad being so passionate about a stock, yet it also doing as well as it's doing. Because look, you could be passionate about. Look, we'll throw it in there because you said it earlier. You could be passionate about space tourism. You could be passionate about Virgin Galactic. I actually think, like, considering the amount of money they've thrown into it, like, to be fair, it's not a bad vehicle or whatever. It's very, very expensive. They shouldn't have spent that much money on it. But like, look, you could be passionate about the likes of space tourism and be investing in like that, like mad. But look, we're lucky enough to be in a company that just keeps performing. I don't even like comparing Peter Beck to Elon, because I actually think in many aspects Beck is actually better than Elon. And that is a mad statement to make, but honestly, I truly believe it. Guys, what are your thoughts on that?
Elon and I love Peter Beck, man, and I actually like that Kratos CEO, like I said, and I think that he will get along with Peter Beck. Actually, I think they can work well together. That's the other reason why I like that combination. I'm looking at my stocks right now. The only thing I see green is Kratos. Believe it or not, things are crashing. Like if you go to Twitter right now, there's people already uploading videos of the attack that's going on in Iran.
Nah.
Yeah. Tomorrow is gonna be horrible.
Get the wallets out, boys.
Yeah. Yeah, but like nah, Elon, like
you
I like
do know
Elon.
what's gonna happen, yeah? We're gonna get so hyped about this Neutron launch, and then there's gonna be some next thing like the next level COVID or something like that, yeah, and the market's gonna tank.
I know, right? What happened to Chris?
Oh, Chris is gone, is he?
You lost him.
We should be able to get him back soon.
Yeah.
Guys, make sure you show Francisco some love here. Francisco's starting to be part of the furniture when it comes to the Haste Club. He used to be a ghost from behind the scenes getting all the research together, but it's great to have you on here and being able to share your thoughts. Guys, while Francisco's on here, make sure to bang any questions in the comments there, because look, it's not often you get to speak to a genius, is it?
I'm not a genius. I just do a lot of research, bro. But thank you, I appreciate it. I just have the time.
Johnny Mac says they'll have even more fun, Chris, if you get the tattoo on the forearm. Just saying. And Francisco came back and said he's going to have to get it now. Chris left to get his tattoo.
Wouldn't that be crazy? That'd be wild.
Oh, mate, if he got a tattoo, yeah, with Meta.
We should make him get it live, though. That's what you should do.
Oh, that'd be so funny. Me tattooing it.
Live. But good, I guess
we have him back.
Oh, we have him back? Like, yeah, let's go through this article real quick.
Chris, have we got you back?
Run out of time.
I'm back. Sorry, guys.
You're going to love this. Johnny said you left to get your tattoo.
Yeah. Yeah. So far, Johnny's paying. So,
yeah, but
I'm tattooing you.
Here's the plan. Yeah, we're gonna do it live. You're gonna have to do it live now on Haste Club.
All right, that's you know what we'll do. Let's do. You know what? We can do that during the Neutron Investors Party launch party, and I will do it live. But Johnny's paying for it. I'm going to draw it, and Johnny's got to pay for it. That's the deal.
Guys, also, what I want to say, because it's actually getting quite active, Chris, you must have been pushing people too here. Oh, guys, actually, did you like my picture I put up earlier?
That was great. That was great.
But, Chris, you must have been pushing it, because we have a investors community called the Haste Club on X. Look, we've 45 members in it at the moment. There's 46 people watching here. I very much doubt all 45 people here are watching the stream. So guys, please increase them numbers. The more people we get, honestly, the more people we get, the more people we get to talk to. The more people we get to talk to, the more people we meet. The more people we meet, the more information we get. The more information we get, the stronger this community becomes, the more knowledge we have.
I can't wait to give out free memberships. That's gonna be fun. Like when we actually have like enough people where it matters, and we can actually give out free memberships. Just so you guys know, if you're in the comments now, like Motbox, Jacob, June, Julie, Olga, all you guys, when we start getting the subscriptions and memberships and stuff, you guys are in. I mean, we're in on the early stages. There's Rocket Lab we're still early. I mean, yeah, I know Rocket Lab is $26 and some change, and a year ago it was $4 and some change, and it's like, oh no, we're late. No, we're still we're still so early. It's ridiculous how early we are on this stock right now. So as we do gain more followers and we get more people in, you guys are all in. You guys are all in. We can never thank you guys enough for everything you do. Like just now, Liam was talking, and did you hear Francisco's fingers? He was just typing and typing and typing and typing. He's probably looking up 5 different sites at one time, and probably found out something that we didn't know 10 minutes ago. But that's what we do here. We try and bring you the latest news, the most up-to-date news. And yeah, we think outside the box, but again, we bring receipts. So I don't know what Francisco was typing about there. I'm going to be quite interested. Man, my messages are blowing up right now. This is going to be a fun night. Thanks, everyone. Do not stop commenting. And if there's anything we missed, just re-comment. Love to have you guys on. Thanks.
Guys, this is going to be an absolute shameless plug. I don't normally do this, but there's 36 of you watching on X at the moment. Please make sure to subscribe to Haste Club on YouTube. That's Chris's new channel. We need him to get to 50 subscribers, so we can stream live on YouTube and X. It'll be coming dual across both of them. That way it'll make it so much easier for both of us guys, because we'll be able to hit both the Hustle Brothers YouTube and X and Chris's YouTube and X. And Francisco, we need to get you streaming on YouTube.
I was trying the other day. Ask Chris, like when you was gone, we didn't know what was going on, and I'm like, shit. He hit me up. I'm like, God, let me go in. And I was trying to do it, and I have like 28 followers, and they were letting me do it. I just couldn't figure out how to do it.
Guys, make sure you also subscribe to Francisco.
The bad thing is that Francisco's mic was off the whole time, but he was gracious enough to host the show because Dylan and I were having a hard time. This is right when you got sick. And everybody was like, hey, is there a Haste Club tonight? I'm like, no, can't find Liam. Liam's nowhere to be found. And again, I don't have the subscribers on my YouTube page. Now, if I just started posting videos, just random videos, I can build the subscribers, but I want to do it organically and just live. So it's been slow moving, but I was like, yeah, I can't go live. You can't go live. Dylan tried to get on live on Spaces, and then I screwed something up. It was my fault. And then Francisco said, hey, screw it. I'm just going to do it. And then his mic didn't work. So as much as he wanted to say stuff, he was gracious enough to just, let us continue on the daily. We didn't end the stream. We kept the daily going. Like you said, 15, 16 days straight now we've done. And just like we can't do what we do every day without the people in the comments, we can't do what we're doing right now without Francisco and Johnny Mac and Jacob. All those guys have definitely chipped in and helped, grow this and make sure that we're still getting this stuff out there. It's been a lot of fun. It sucks that Francisco couldn't get in that night, but yeah, what was cool too is normally when you do a Spaces, people kind of drop off, but the longer we were going on, the more people were coming on. And it's funny because sometimes you can go on for an hour and a half. One night we did like 3+ hours, and I was like, I gotta get off here. And they're like, no, keep going. This is great.
That one was crazy because we're about to leave and people were jumping in, and like with good information too. So we're like, what the heck? Let's hang out for 10 more minutes.
Yeah, and the numbers are growing. It's fun. It's fun that the community's growing. New investors are coming in every day, and I think it's important what we're doing is because, again, we do bring in the pros, quote unquote the pros. We bring in the numbers, but we also bring in the basic details that a lot of new investors are going to forget about or overlook or just not know about. So it's helpful to have multiple different views on the company. That's what makes this whole thing so great.
So Chris, what do you think about this whole thing in Virginia? That's like your backyard.
Bro, we talked about this for months and we saw what's coming. Now the INQ thing was something that I think you can agree we did not see coming. The data centers. Yeah, well, that was Johnny. Yeah, exactly, it was Johnny, and that was just not too long ago. But it seemed a little bit early, but it starts to make sense now. I mean, you look at what they've done already with Varda in space. If you can manufacture pharmaceuticals, which is very delicate, and crash land them back onto Earth, then and there's other companies looking at manufacturing other things in space outside of pharmaceuticals, computer chips. A lot of things can be built and built more efficiently in space. So it's starting to make more sense. So you look at a quantum computing and you're thinking, all right, so what's the limitations? Well, on Earth, they get really hot. I mean, they get super hot, which takes more power to cool them off. It takes a lot of power just to power one quantum computer. So you put that in the space and you remove all the heat, so less power, but you do have to power it. So that got me thinking into, what does Rocket Lab currently have in its arsenal that could provide power? And it brought me back to gravitics, and that made me look at the Flatellite. Gravitics is going to be a big naval warship, basically, for defense. That's going to have something similar to a Flatellite. It's not going to be a Flatellite. I'm not saying that. I'm saying something very similar. But they are going to be working directly with Rocket Lab. It all kind of started to line up for me. It's very feasible now. 6 weeks ago, a month ago, 2 months ago, people would have said, "Hey, you're crazy," and I love that. That's what I do. But now people are looking at it going, "Holy crap, this could be a reality," because it makes a lot of sense. Quantum computing in space is more economical. It's more feasible. It makes a lot more space, and there is going to be a need for it, most definitely.
Yeah, and then the other part that we touched on that Rocket Lab has the best satellites for solar panels. So if you need power, you can do that too. It's so many options.
And what most people don't realize is that Photon, I believe it's their Pioneer Photon, even though it's not specifically designed for power storage, it has the capability of storing power. So you look at something like a Tesla Powerwall, and we are going to need power stations in space, just like we're going to need, for lack of better words, a gas station in space. Especially if we're looking at getting out to multiple planets and going to Mars and the moon and possibly beyond that. The mining that's coming up. Look at a lot of these smaller companies that's looking at possibly doing moon mining, asteroid mining, and capitalizing off of that. Well, they're going to need a company like a Rocket Lab that has the experience, that has the heredity, that is proven that can do this over and over and over. They're not going to go and start some multi-billion-dollar new project to do it themselves. They're going to outsource it. Believe me, I'm a contractor. I outsource as much as I can if I'm going to make a profit. I'm not going to do it the hard way. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
It makes no sense at all.
And Chris, on what you were saying, like Ashley Vance, he interviewed Peter Beck, right? But 2 days ago, he made a clip of something that he was saying about building out in space. He pretty much said that was the most powerful and that they are heading that way. I said, that was very interesting because he's pretty much saying that that's what you should focus on, building out in space, not manufacturing in space.
Who was that? Beck or Ashley said that?
Beck. Ashley, he made a clip. Go to his page. Like he cut like a small clip from the interview, and Peter Beck is talking about manufacturing like in space, kind of like touching on that Chris was saying.
There's a lot of money up there, man, and a lot of companies are looking at that because they're seeing the advantages. And Rocket Lab this is another thing that Rocket Lab has done that SpaceX has not done yet. They're proven. They can put a satellite up there. They can manufacture pharmaceuticals. They can crash land them into the desert in Australia, and it works. It's a proven technology. They've done it. Gives me a lot more confidence in their Venus mission. It's not going to be easy to crash land a pod onto any surface on Earth. You're going to need a lot stronger kind of structure to get into the Venus atmosphere. Which they're funding themselves, which is very interesting. So, man, this is you're right. You guys really blew my mind. I mean, I thought that today was going to be kind of like short and sweet and not a lot to get into. And then we got on right before we came live, and Liam said, "Wait until you see what Francisco sent me." And I was like, "That's crazy." And and of course, and again, it's crazy because it adds up to everything we've talked about the last few months.
And that's what is crazy. That's the crazy part.
It's all about tying the knots and basically linking the dots together. Guys, as a community, can't believe it's been done. I can't believe it's happened this early where we're talking about something and straight away, look, receipts are starting to come in. Francisco, we can't thank you enough for that. Johnny Mac, same thing, brother. You spotted it. Oh, mile off, and then our walking talking machine.
Oh my God. Johnny's saying,
brother.
sorry, Johnny's saying the Rock Lab is at 25.55 and going down overseas. Everything's dropping.
Wow.
The only thing I'm seeing green is Kratos, man. Kratos is crazy right now. It was like $42. I mean, it just dropped like right now. Wow. It was like up like $2. Even then,
Anybody got any new info on Kratos in the comments? Any new news? I haven't seen.
Did you see Planet Labs fired up like 12% today, and then it ended up only like 0.5% up?
I didn't see that. I know Dave G's really big in Planet Lab.
It was to do with NATO selects Planet for landmark 7-figure contract. Yeah, I know Dave G's into Planet. I never really proper got mad into Planet. I think it was when Beck actually said it himself about satellite imaging, and that he couldn't see that as the way forward for Rocket Lab themselves.
Yeah, I don't dislike them as a company, but it would be more of a short-term play when it comes to get in and get out. I don't, and again, it's weird because like I like ASTS again for the short term, but space is large, and I think a lot of these space companies are giving themselves a very early limitation, a very low ceiling of what their potential could be. But you look at a company like a Kratos, like a Rocket Lab, that are thinking way further down the line, 10, 15 years down the line. It's hard for me to put all my eggs into a company that's like, yeah, we're gonna build satellites. Well, SpaceX, who's one of your biggest competitors, are launching your satellites. So, yeah, I love your stock price. I hope you guys all at ASTS make a crap ton of money. I'll give you my number. I'll build you a koi pond. I'll come out and build you a waterfall. You can fly me out. Props to you. It's just not my thing. I'm looking more, and we've talked about this many times in the chats too with Francisco. We get excited about the day-to-day volatility, but we don't get worried when we see it drop 4, 5, 8%. We just go, hey, how much did you buy today? That's the exact conversation we have, and that's the kind of company that we're looking at when it comes to Rocket Lab. We're looking at data now. We're looking at possible quantum computing and partnering with those kind of companies, which is the future, way above and beyond the next 2 to 3 months.
Yeah, today I didn't like something. There was some news that came out that their CEO sold like $100 million worth in shares. That's a lot of money to sell. Like, I don't know, insider selling, a CEO selling that much for that much money. It's like $108 million. I'm like, whoa, that's not good. Yeah, that's definitely not good.
Hey, I know when Francisco sells 100,000 shares that I don't have to work no more. I'm going to an undisclosed location, nice villa. I just got to cook barbecue and tacos on the weekends, and we're good to go.
If I had 100,000,
can I come on holiday, Francisco?
Yeah, I wish I had 100,000 shares of Rocket.
Guys, I want to put another thing out there as well. I was speaking to the other hustle brother today, Reese. I know you haven't seen much of him during the Haste Club, but he does stay up to date with all our content on this. He is more or less running the eVTOL side of our channel at the moment while we're pushing out more and more Rocket Lab content. But we're having a bit of a discussion about 15 minutes before this stream, and he has quite a big idea that, look, Chris brought us a mad idea with the Rocket Lab Daily every day, and he's now upped it to forever. So I think the Hustle Brothers need to do something in revenge to Chris and get him involved in another Rocket Lab project as part of the Haste Club. It'll benefit.
That's not fair, man. Yeah. That's not fair, man. No, that's not fair. Hey, look, I wasn't planning on doing it daily. I admitted to everyone that, hey, look, we're only doing this for 30 days, and I try to skip a day or two. Hell, I was at my daughter's soccer game, regional finals, and I was live. And these guys just took over, and all they did was talk numbers for like an hour and a half, knowing damn well we don't talk numbers here. We're like, hey, Chris isn't paying attention. But we kept it going. We kept it going. And what I was not expecting is that around the 3 to 4 o'clock hour, I started getting messages. Hey, what time was Haste Club? What time are we going live? And so I'm worried that, people might start coming with torches and pitchforks if we don't go live daily. And I was worried that, hey, daily every day is just going to be almost impossible. But we're talking about Rocket Lab, and we're talking about a company that is at the infancy steps of what they're going to become over the next 5 or 10 years. And again, even with everyone in the community, we can't keep up with everything they're doing. We try. I mean, we get messages from Francisco, from Jacob, from Brett, from Lily. I mean, you guys are just constantly eco. I can just name off the top of my head probably 20 different people, and I'm getting messages. I love it. I really do, because that's how I'm learning. But it doesn't stop. So maybe we might have a slow day, and we can take a day off, and we don't have to say it's always going to be every single day. But right now, with everything going on, we've got to stay on top. We don't know what's going to happen next. We're
Right
still
now,
waiting on.
It's at 25. This is not good.
Dude, I love it. 'Cause I get paid tomorrow, and Francisco, that I need to add to my share account. So if it was up to me, this thing would drop back down to $3 or $4.
Oh man, I wish.
And I guarantee you that Francisco and Liam and I and Reese and Dylan and the majority of you guys listening right now, you wouldn't freak out. You would buy. You'd just buy as much as you could. You'd just let it just keep on falling, because we know what's going on with the stock. We know this thing, where they're going in the next 5 or 10 years. And if
Look at
exactly, bro. And if a bunch of idiots like us are thinking that we're like, oh, we figured it out. We know where they're going in the next 2 or 3 months. We're already ahead of the game, because we're just a bunch of idiots. We're just throwing our ideas out there. Yeah, we're right. Sometimes we're wrong, but that's the excitement about it. We're not looking at the bear case. We're looking at, hey, the potential of the next 4 or 5 years. That's the fun part, man. That's the fun part.
Man,
And guys, I want to let you know as well, any of you eVTOL guys that have came across from our eVTOL site and you're a beginner in Rocket Lab, remember we have said before about Archer or Joby, when bad days come like this, a bit of a pullback, never panic, never emotional invest. You're always investing for the long term. And why not just hop on the Haste Club, have a bit of fun, talk about the stock, and look, it'll pass over while we're having a laugh together
100%.
and calming each other down. Just never get involved in that spiral of doom, because I can have a bit. Depending on who you follow next, you can follow many people and they'll say that Rocket Lab is only going up. It ain't ever pulling back, and it's going to $100 tomorrow, and that's where it's going. You can then look at the other side of it, and Rocket Lab's overvalued,
Right.
and it's going down. Guys, look, you do your own research. We're never going to tell you whether to buy or sell. We've said myself, Chris, and Francisco all would buy if we seen a dramatic pullback. That by no means is a signal for everyone to jump in and buy.
I've been buying on the way down. Like this past couple of days, I've been adding every day.
Yep.
And I wasn't expecting this to happen. I wish I did, because I would have saved up all that money and just buy now at the low. People are going to get it. It's going to be an opportunity to buy one more time before August. So, yeah.
Yeah, and if I knew this was happening, Francisco, I would have borrowed money from you. This is insane. I mean, I understand it. There's always the micros and macros, but this does to me look like a great opportunity. Not for the next month. I mean, it could go down further, and that'd be great. I'll just buy more, and I hope it does go down more. I'm not gonna lie, because I'm not worried about 6 months from now, and I'm not even worried about Neutron. I mean, worst case scenario, let's say they actually, because I had somebody ask me this the other day. They said, "What are you going to do when they announce Neutron is not going to launch until spring of 2026?"
Oh,
That was the message. What would you do? And I said, I would sit on the sidelines and I would go get a part-time job and build as much cash as I possibly could and wait until it got close to the bottom, and I'd buy as much as I possibly can, because all Rocket Lab has done is proven they can do everything that they say they're going to do. They never overpromise. They never overpromise. They always deliver. So if I've got to wait another 6 or 8 months for Neutron to be successful, I'm okay. I mean, they'll still beat records. They'll still beat the cheapest cost from design to execution. They'll still beat the record on from design to execution on launch. So any delay is not going to upset me. Any setback, small term, is not going to upset me. Again, it's about the research, guys. Make sure you know exactly what you're investing into. I like space, and I love rockets, and it's fun. Rockets going in the air or whatever. But I made a mistake with Virgin. Learn my lesson. Do your own research. Don't listen to me. Don't listen to Francisco.
Don't listen to no guy whatsoever. We got
don't do it. Just don't do it. I mean, I love you guys listening in. Come on anytime. Let's have some fun. But this is we'll give you all the latest information we can.
Creators is like taking off, bro.
Holy crap, man! Holy crap!
That's gonna save my portfolio tomorrow. Try to tell you guys.
I haven't invested in Kratos, not gonna lie.
I mean, I told these guys last year when it was like $20. I'm like, man, you guys should put some money in there. And then January, Johnny and us were talking about it. I'm like, bro, you guys got to get some money in there. Kratos looks good to me.
Yeah, you look at the numbers, man. You look at what they're doing. You look at their long-term output. Look into their CEO, just like we all should. But it's just brilliance, You're gonna see some black flags, or red flags or whatever. But that's gonna be with a lot of space companies. A lot of space companies right now, even though they're not technically SPACs anymore. A lot of Wall Street they look at them as SPACs, and that's why they're not getting a lot of the love that they really deserve. I mean, look at Rocket Lab. So the most launches per year. They're competing against China, an entire country, massive amount of money going into it. They're competing against Russia, all right, another full freaking country. And then SpaceX, backed by the richest man in the world, and Beck is doing it for a fraction of the dollar. They're remaining top 4 in the world just in launches. And as we all know, launches are only 30% tops of what they bring in revenue. Look at everything else they're doing behind it, and that's what most people are missing out on. Wall Street, all they focus on right now is launches. We know better. We're looking at everything in between. If we miss something in between, please, guys, in the comments, let us know. I miss things all the time. That's why I have friends like Johnny Mac and Francisco and Liam to remind me, hey, you missed this, buddy. It's always fun, when you write about a Korea or Australia, but we're always going to miss something. So always speak out, always speak up. Today's been a lot of fun, man. A lot of fun.
I sent Leanne another article, the one with the airplanes. I think you got.
Let me see. Is that the most recent one? Oh no, that's Israel.
It's right before you sent me the link.
Oh, I get it here.
Yeah.
USAF to cancel the
So that's potentially another thing that we can bid for too.
There we go. I'll bring that up, guys.
Francisco, is the tranche 3 bidding process, is that already over? Or do we
what
still have
kind
time?
of website did you send me, brother?
Oh no, that's not. Maybe that's why I got hyped. That's not what I see on my end.
Yeah, Francisco.
What kind of ads are you getting? Because I can show you that's not what I'm seeing on my end.
Yes, that's awesome. That is awesome. I love it. That's awesome.
We're gonna stay on our website.
Yes,
Look at the
that's
ads that
awesome.
I get. Like, what kind of ads do you get? I don't know. Like, this is what I get. It's totally different. You see, like, oh, what do you see?
That's hilarious.
I don't
That's
know where you
great.
got those girls from. That's funny.
Yo, ain't no club like the Haste Club. That's fucking
Wait a minute.
hilarious.
But
Something else is up.
I'm gonna bust your balls for a month over this. This is great.
Oh
Hey,
my god.
Liam, screenshot this and send it to me. I can't wait. I can't wait because you know what's gonna happen tomorrow. I'm gonna have another long day, and Francis is gonna hit me up like a bunch of times. I'm gonna go. I can't pay attention, but hey, check this out instead. That is awesome. That is awesome.
I think that's some crazy ads that he was getting, but between everything, like there's what they're saying is that documents obtained by breaking defense indicates that the Air Force is requested 200 million for research and development for a web GETEL program for fiscal year 2026. Apparently, they want to replace that airplane with satellites. So that's good because we can bid for that. I'm assuming I don't know what's going on there, like. But
There was
$200 million
something
pretty decent.
that just made me. That reminded me of something that we talked about a few months ago, Francisco, and the possibility of the U.S. Air Force decommissioning some of their larger cargo planes
Yeah, but
because
they're
they're
doing that.
yeah, and they're getting a bit outdated. And I think that's why we're. And you said this. I'm not going to take credit. You did. But it makes more sense to use like a Neutron for a lot of those cargo missions because we can do it faster, um, and for about the same kind of price. Um, you know, some of those price points are a little kind of wonky right now. We're still kind of early into it, but we have a mission coming up, both commercial and military, for a cargo mission launch for Neutron, delivering whatever cargo to whatever location
What's the
it's all.
civilian one that I know they got the one for the Air Force Research Laboratories. Like I don't know which one you're talking about. What's the civilian one? What's the cargo one?
The cargo one is it's I'm not sure if it's the same one, but it's definitely military based. But there's
No,
also a commercial as well. And it's not for 2026. I think one is 2026, one is 2027. They're spread out. As we already know, we have like 3 launches scheduled a year for the next 2 or 3 years.
yeah.
I do think it's going to get ramped up. And okay, so here's the thing that I sent Francisco that got us going kind of crazy. Is I asked Grok. I got lazy. I was driving back from work yesterday, so I asked Grok, "What's the current launch schedule for Rocket Lab?" And I just expected the same kind of news. You know, Hawkeye 360, the Dart, you know, that kind of stuff coming up. I just want to get an idea of the timeline because I am close to Wallops, and I do plan on going out for. I can't plan for a Haste launch because we don't know when they're going to launch Haste. They never advertise that, but Electron, they usually do. So I was just trying to get some information, and what came up was something crazy, and it showed that Electron was actually going to launch out of Cape Canaveral, Florida, out of Space Force's base they have there in Cape Canaveral. So I sent it over to Francisco, and he was like, "Yeah, that's a bunch of BS. I've never seen it anywhere." And so we started looking into it, and turned out it was a bunch of BS. There's no proof that Electron is going to launch out of Cape Canaveral. I don't know why Grok came up with that, but it got us going down some of the rabbit holes. We started learning some more stuff. Like one, SpaceX or Space Force does have pads. They have a base in Cape Canaveral with 2 launch pads. Both ULA and SpaceX have launched out of there, so there's already infrastructure in place. Now we've talked about recently with the whole issue with Trump and Musk and you know money getting taken away from SpaceX, and they're looking for other alternatives. And how would they possibly do that? Now, yes, Wallops is a great location. It's one of the best locations in the world, at least in the U.S. when it comes to launching. But when it comes to manned missions, it's a lot easier to reach the ISS or do a extended mission if you're launching out of like a Texas or a California or a Cape Canaveral. Now the dots kind of start lining up. So if there were some sort of out of the box, investment from U.S. Government says, hey, let's ramp up Neutron. Well, how do you ramp up Neutron? Well, Beck has already said that they can't really go any faster than we're doing now. So here comes, every time we do a Haste Club, Chris has got to say some kind of crazy stuff. So here it is. So let's just think hypothetically that they want to ramp up Neutron and they want to do more than 3 launches a year or 7 launches a year. So we have the Maryland complex. We have the barges to ship Neutron parts from Maryland down to Cape Canaveral. Is actually very easy. Things get shipped from Maryland down to Cape Canaveral all the freaking time. It's not a big deal. We already have the barges in place. We already have everything in place. So yeah, it's a little outside the box, but that I would think would be a fun little rabbit hole to jump down into and look at some of the possibilities, and then look on the outside and go, all right, well, where's the Space Force in Cape Canaveral, that base? Where are they putting their finances? Where's their money going into? It might not come out and specifically say Rocket Lab, but it might lead us down a path that might kind of point towards that and have some support. So the U.S. government did come in, have some more money, and said, hey, we want to invest. What direction you want to go, Pete? And he goes, hey, if you want manned missions, we need more support at Cape Canaveral. Again, outside the box. That's Liam, why you have me on here to talk crazy stuff all the time. You guys brought me Korea. I got to bring you Cape Canaveral. Why not? I mean, let's have some fun.
No, trust me. I can see the rabbit hole you're going down. Do you believe they'd be able to get more than 3 per year at the very start?
It'd be tough, man. It'd be tough.
Like more than 3 per year, like one next year? No, that's not happening.
There'll be a ramp up, but and this is something that honestly Francisco would probably know a bit more about. I mean, there's going to be a slight ramp up, but right now, that's what they're announcing. We can't really go off of much more than speculation after that point. But this is right down Francisco's alley. It really is.
Yeah, but the only thing that can happen is that the government, the DOD, comes up to Rocket Lab and gives them more money. Like I can go into the other news. I might have sent you that too. The Nikon deal that Rocket Lab is getting to.
Oh, for the 3D printing.
Yeah, for the engines. I'm pretty sure. They didn't say what it was for, but I think Jacob explained it to us last night or the night before. So pretty much they're using them already for our engines for Electron. So I'm assuming these ones are for the Archimedes. And if they're getting a bigger printer, and I'm assuming they're gonna save money on obviously the production, but they're gonna save on weight, and it's probably gonna be better performance. And you can use what Elon says all the time. That engine is gonna have less ports, the best ports. So that's where we're heading. So I like that. And yeah, that's very interesting. And they're getting 2 of them. But imagine that the DOD comes in and be like, "Oh, I need you to hurry up. Let's buy 2 more. Well, then you get 4 of them, or buy all the stuff that we need so we can move faster." That's when the money might come in handy. Or if they want to build another building in Wallops and whatever they need. The money can help to an extent, I think. Some people say it's not going to help, but I think it will. And the government can easily come and be like, "All right, we need you to start working on that castle because we need a second player there." Because right now it's pretty much SpaceX. Boy, that thing doesn't work. That thing is garbage. And the government gave them $6 billion. They can easily.
It's garbage. It is. It's pure garbage.
Yeah. Well, they can totally ramp up. I think we've seen some of the comments AJ saying that.
Yeah, so AJ's coming in saying 100% they need money. They can ramp up in 2027. 2027, yeah, I could
Yeah, that
see.
we can wrap up 27.
Because at that stage, look, hopefully they'll have had a few successful launches and they can just ramp.
Now, let me tell you something I just thought about. Like, this thing happening with Israel and Iran, that actually might help Rocket Lab right now. Because the DOD might be like, yeah, we need to get you guys going. We can't waste time on this thing.
Exactly. When you said that earlier, I mean, you always get alarmed. You don't want to see war. You don't want to see people getting hurt, and it's a negative way as far as looking at a possibility for your stock. So I don't encourage that whatsoever. I never will. We all want world peace, but it's reality, right? It's just reality. So whether you're watching MSNBC or you're watching us here on live on YouTube, you're getting your information fed to you from one source or another, and we're never going to be negative, about this kind of things. But it's hard to not look at it in an investor's kind of mindset and go, what way can I take advantage of this? Because we are here to make money. And again, I avoid the numbers, but there are ways to make money. Even when the market's going down, you can make money, which is crazy. I'm still learning that. Buying put options. Like Jacob the other day, Astra skyrocketed. He was like, "Oh, this is crazy. I'm going to short this bad boy." And it's not ignorant to think that way. Again, it helps having the community, helps having the people around you that's showing these things. And also, before I stop here, apologies for the dark screen. It's nighttime out here. I always go live with a river view, but it's just dark. So I'm still here. But yeah, sorry for the black screen, guys.
Yeah, but the AJ says too that they need the money for the ramp up. It's pretty much for the engines. He's saying is the limiting factor, and I agree, and that's where that money will come handy. But even for all the parts, what about if they want to get another one of those machines, the printers, to start printing like the what's the FP? What's the name of those things? The ones they have the one they used to print the carbon fibers parts. FP.
Oh yeah, what's that called?
Yeah, but they can probably acquire one of those machines too and start printing parts faster. And money comes handy. I don't care like what you think.
Yeah, especially if you're going to ramp up, and especially if you're going to expand into another launch site. Those machines, I'm sure, are quite expensive, but they're way above and beyond what anyone else is doing. And that actually brings you back to Kratos. I mean, you look at their hypersonic vehicles, and we're going to see that with the Dart mission coming up with what they've done with hypersonics. But I think, and no offense to hypersonics, Australia is just getting into this. Kratos has been doing it a bit longer. It wouldn't surprise me to see Rocket Lab carbon printing, 3D printing some of these vehicles, these hypersonic vehicles, straight from that machine.
Yeah, I mean, you can definitely get parts for it, 100%. Because that's what like the other partners, like the hypersonics, is carbon fiber. So yeah, I'm sure they can do that too.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah, they can get another AFP is what it's called. Yeah, I mean, we can use money for that too.
Hey, I can use some money. I can use some money. Hey, my birthday is coming up in August, and I wear a size 3 or 5 in Rocket Lab shares. So if you guys want to buy me a birthday present, I wear a 3 or 5. I'm just kidding, man. Look, we take things sometimes way too serious, and that's what I'm here for, is just to be an idiot and say stuff like that. But in all reality, yeah, buy me some Rocket Lab shares. My birthday's coming up.
Well, I'll buy you a tattoo.
Can't buy you anything, man. This stock is at $25. I'm broke now.
You're a liar, and we both know it. You're lying. Your pants are on fire.
Dude, it's $25 from now. I'm dead serious.
All right, so when it hits about 56, 57, Johnny's buying me a tattoo, and I'm moving to an undisclosed location, and just living off of Francisco. That's my retirement plan.
I'm coming visiting for
Yeah,
sure.
he's not looking good right now.
Positivity, brother. Positivity, man. Let's buy tomorrow.
Like, yeah.
Right,
He just needs
guys.
to buy tomorrow, yeah. He just needs
Guys, it is 2:10 here in Ireland. I am working tomorrow. I probably better get off this.
yeah,
But, guys, honestly, we're about to drop another absolute bombshell with the project we are going to bring to both Chris and Francisco. So if you haven't, there's 57 of you watching here. Make sure to go across to the Haste Brothers. We're pushing for 2,500. But look, we have a goal with one of our members on YouTube. Want 5,000 by September. It's going to be a hard push, but we're going to do it. Guys, my name's Liam. I'm one of the Haste Brothers here. We have a special guest, Francisco Ramirez. Make sure to follow Francisco.
Yeah.
And then we have the one and only founder of the Haste Club. It's his project. He is the captain of the ship. We have Christopher Bell here. Until tomorrow, we'll speak to you again. Right, guys. Have a good night.
All right, man. Good
We
night.
love you guys. Thanks, everyone. Thanks so much.